Okay, g'day again. Right, this is the fuel gauge or the fuel sender unit of the tank on my WB Holden van. Now, a few years ago, I was having an issue with the fuel gauge not working, and it took me a while to figure out what was going on. And what was going on is that the tank itself wasn't earthing onto the frame, onto the chassis. And because I've just painted all the chassis and I'm about to paint, the straps that hold it on and the tank itself, because the tank itself's starting to go a bit rusty, so I'm going to clean that up and paint it. So, there's no way it's going to earth again anyway. It wasn't earthing before because of rust and dirt and stuff like that. And what I did before, this is why there's a small hose clamp on here. I just had an earth wire clamped on there, but I'm going to go for a more permanent solution now. And so hang with me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder a terminal onto this pipe, under the fuel pipe. And this is chrome. It should sort of stick fairly well. I have scuffed it a little bit and run over the area just there where I'm going to put a tab on with a bit of 400 emery. And I've got a terminal. This is a terminal out of a wire connection. It's out of focus, but anyway, put down a bit closer. So I'm going to solder that on so that onto here, so that I can just clip my earth wire on and off. So, but yeah, there's a procedure in doing this, so we'll show. Okay, I've got my soldering iron preheated, and this is a 60 watt soldering iron. I'll give that just a quick scrape. This soldering irons too, you got to keep cleaning and grinding them. Yeah, that's going to work now. Which I've only just done recently. When you clean a soldering iron, you'll find the solder won't stick to it. And yeah, get yourself some of this soldering fluid. And that's what you need to treat the tip of your soldering iron after. They end up with a hole in them for some reason in the centre, but anyway. So yeah, I've ground it back, and then I've treated it with flux so that the solder will now stick again. Okay, so I've got a little bit of flux here and a little brush. So I'm going to get this hot. You notice I've taken it out of the tank. I don't think there'd be enough heat to ignite the fuel, but you don't want to take that sort of a risk anyway. So let me get some flux on there. You see the solder already starting to stick. Flux only works once you put the heat on it. You have to heat the flux. So. And that's what you do before you attempt to put the terminal on there, is get the solder already sticking. There's solder coming off there because it was already on the iron itself. I think I've got that pretty clean now. So let's go. Let's get a bit more solder on here. Yep. Yeah, without that flux, the solder would not have stuck. And do the same with the terminal. Dip that in the flux. Probably doesn't need it, considering it's new brass, but we'll do it anyway. And yeah, this could be awkward. Some jobs you really need 3 hands. 2 hands just not good enough. Pick the terminal up here. Okay. I'll just drop that in the dirt. We'll start again with that. Get some flux on it. Put this down, do it over here. You probably can't see what I'm doing at the moment, but I've had to put the iron back on the holder. So I'm going to make sure I get solder to stick to this terminal. Sometimes too, you got to put solder on the iron so that you can get heat transfer to the job that you're doing. I'm also soldering little splits and things in this thing, so no, let's get it in front of the camera, right? So you can see I soldered that. I've also, before I even began, I opened up this pieces up here. This is where the wires fit on. I've opened them up and sort of made them the right roundness to fit on the pipe. So right, now we've got solder on both pieces, and put that in. And what you got to do here is don't move it and wait till that's cooled down and set. See, yeah. If you move it before the solder sets, you'll just break the bond. Anyway, so there we go. It's now on there solid. And there, that's the end of the issue with the fuel gauge not earthing. So now I've got a permanent solution to that. And what I will do before I put it on too, because you know I've scrubbed the chrome and whatever, I'll put a little bit of tape around that, and I'll tape around this terminal, and I'll actually, I might just do it with a brush, it'll be easier. I'll brush a bit of paint just over that, just around that area, just so it doesn't go rusty. Okay, let me show you a couple of other things now with the tank. So let me get this camera off the holder now. So jiggle it in a little bit. Right. Now, also I used to have an issue with the tank leaking. And this is what you can see here. This is, well, it's a couple of years old, but it's still, yeah, in good nick. So that was a new rubber. I got that, I think, from Rare Spares. And but when I first put it in, it still continued to leak. And yeah, And actually, I'll take you over to the tank, I'll show you. What I found is this surface here where the thing had a tiny bit of corrosion in it, and it was bent. You can still sort of see it's not 100% perfect, but this here was pushed in. I've sort of pulled it up as best as I can, and yeah, managed to get it to seal. But yeah, that's something to look at. See, because even after I bought the new rubber seal, it continued to leak. So, and that's what the issue was: is this surface was bent in here, and that's probably happened by somebody taking, previous person before me pulling, because this leaked right from when I got it new, and yeah, like not a lot. It's used to just sort of, it didn't drip or anything, but used to see it wet under here continuously on this seam. So it was just a tiny bit of seepage, but yeah, as I said, when I put the new rubber in and it did leak, it was dripping, and yeah. But the other issue is when you put these tabs in, they want to pull to one side or the other, and then you've got, when they do that, you get an uneven pressure then on your rubber. So, and these tabs here also tend to push up. There's supposed to be a little bit of a turn, but not much. See, these here need to be tapped back down a bit. They're sticking up too much. So, yeah. But it's just all, things to look at when you're putting it in. Make sure you get it centered. You put your ring in, you sort of tap this one a little bit, and then you tap that one a little bit, and then this one a little bit. And try and keep the thing centered, because, as I said, if it goes off to one side, then the pressure against the seal won't be even. And yeah, it's like it'll leak. So the other thing too, be careful getting it in and out. They're not easy to get in and out. This here's the float, and yeah, make sure it's dry too, not full of fuel. But you really gotta sort of pull it out carefully. Get this pipe, your pickup pipe out first, and then pull that out, because if you bend this rod, then your gauge is not going to be accurate. So yeah, you just got to be real careful getting that in and out. And if your gauge is inaccurate, well, then there's probably somebody else has already bent it. So, and yeah, you'd need to bend it a little bit one way or the other until it's accurate again. Okay, we'll leave that here, and hope that's helpful. So yeah, hit like, please.